We spend billions of dollars every year on longevity, chasing lab-synthesized supplements and extreme daily routines. But a growing body of research highlights two accessible interventions that independently reduce mortality risk, and neither requires a prescription. They are completely free. Those two pillars are formal volunteering and living near green spaces. Today, we are going to look at the data showing how giving your time drops your risk of mortality by about 25%, how living near trees provides a measurable shield against disease, and how these two different behaviors rely on shared social and mental pathways to keep us alive. Of course, there is a major variable to consider. Are these behaviors actually keeping people alive, or do wealthy, healthy people just happen to have the free time to volunteer and the money to live near nice parks? To treat social giving and nature as actual medicine, we have to isolate the act of volunteering and the environment of the neighborhood to see if they alone are enough to extend a life. A landmark study out of Northern Ireland managed to solve that exact correlation problem. Researchers analyzed census-linked death records for over 300,000 married couples. This infographic shows their methodology. By comparing a volunteer directly against their own non-volunteering spouse, researchers perfectly neutralized shared household factors. They could compare two people with the same income and diet, where the only difference was that one person gave their time. Even with those lifestyle factors accounted for, the mortality advantage held. Men who volunteered had a 21% lower risk of dying, while women saw a 23% reduction. But here is the critical detail. The non-volunteering partners did not share the survival advantage. If longevity was simply a side effect of living a comfortable life with a partner who does good deeds, both spouses would live longer. They did not. The benefit is specific to the person who shows up and gives their time. By providing a deep sense of purpose and social fabric, volunteering acts as a health behavior as legitimate as a daily walk or balanced diet. We see a similarly targeted effect when we look at our physical environment. The decades-long Nurses' Health Study followed over 100,000 women to measure the precise impact of their surroundings on their lifespan. They tracked a metric called residential greenness, specifically measuring the amount of vegetation sitting within a 500-meter radius of a person's home. This chart shows the drop in specific mortality causes for people living in the greenest neighborhoods compared to the least green. They found a 34% reduction in deaths from respiratory disease and a 41% reduction in kidney disease mortality. Proximity to trees and parks provides a targeted biological shield against specific diseases, moving beyond mere aesthetics to act as critical health infrastructure. Curious. So why do both volunteering and living near trees save lives? What hidden mechanisms connect a social behavior to a physical environment? When researchers calculated exactly how these interventions extend lifespan, the results were unexpected. We often assume that parks and volunteering keep us alive primarily because they get us up and exercising, but physical activity actually accounts for only about 2% of the longevity benefit. This pie chart illustrates the actual drivers. Mental health is the single biggest factor, accounting for over 30% of the benefit, as nature and giving both lower stress. Social engagement explains another 19%, pulling people out of isolation and into community interactions. We can see this dynamic playing out in Yubari, Japan. When the city's major hospital closed, deaths from cancer, heart disease, and pneumonia actually decreased. With fewer hospital visits available, residents walked more and relied on each other. It is a reminder that the design of our daily world can be as influential on our survival as the medical care we receive. This data suggests that volunteering and spending time in nature should be formally prescribed as health interventions. They are not just hobbies, they are tools for longevity. The evidence is clear. Dedicating time to others reduces your mortality risk by roughly 25%, and living in a green neighborhood can drop it by up to 12% by improving mental health and filtering the air. To capture these benefits, find one formal way to give your time this week. You don't need to spend any money. Tutor at a local school, sort cans at a food bank, or join a community cleanup. Next, find a park or green space located within a 500-meter walk of your home. make it a routine to spend time among the trees there. And if you want to apply all of this research at once, look for where they overlap. Joining a community garden or a conservation corps addresses the 3 leading mediators of mortality. It restores the mind through nature, creates social bonds, and keeps the body moving. Extending your life does not require immense wealth or exotic supplements. The most powerful tools for a longer life are free, and they are waiting just outside your door.